Hi guys and welcome. You're joining me today to see how to do this completely invisible stitch. Now, going back a couple of weeks ago, a lady rang me and asked me if I could actually stitch some denim turn-ups on the outside of the jeans. So when she brought them and I started doing the job, I stitched about an inch and I really wasn't happy with how it was looking. You could see the stitch in areas. So I unpicked that bit and then I just sat looking at the turn-up and thinking, right, am I going to do this? And it wasn't long before I come up with the idea. Now, I don't know if this is a stitch that's already out there or if it's one that's that I've just come to me, but it's certainly a stitch that you, as my fellow sewers, need to know about. You don't need a sewing machine, it's hand stitching and it is completely invisible. I've already turned a pair of my work trousers up using the same method this morning. So you can see on the outside there, you can't see any stitching. And if I turn them the inside out, you cannot see any of the stitching again because it is completely invisible on the inside as well as the outside. Now I'm going to start to stitch the side of a pair of curtains because this stitch is for any hems, whether it be on a pair of trousers, a skirt, a dress or curtains. It's perfect to give you the stitch on a curtain to give you the professional finish by hand stitching it. Now I've pressed the seam first and I've made sure that the thread that I've got is a strong one, that when I pull it, it's not going to snap. I'm doing it in single thread. I've already got the knot on the end. Now, the trousers I didn't bother clipping because it was a small area, but if you're going down the side of like a curtain that this would be, then you can clip it after it's been pressed. If you're not confident, because with this stitch, what makes it invisible is the single stitch when you're going to pick up a thread is going to be just get rid of that, just down below this area. So where that is there, the stitch is going to go below that. But you can always put a line just below it and then you can stitch on that line if you're happy to do that. And then what makes it invisible on this turn up is that we're going inside the turn up so you don't see the thread there. Right, so to get started, I'm coming inside that fold, pushing the needle up, straight up, so the knot is going to be inside. I'm coming just where this is here, the stitch that's going on this main area always needs to be below this turn up. So I'm coming down slightly, picking the smallest amount of thread up, and then coming opposite where that is, going into the turnover. So you can see there, again, the stitching is going to be inside. Then I'm going back down opposite. And then opposite. So you're always going opposite in the turnover. And there's no set width for this stitch. It's your personal preference how wide you want to go. And then I'm going below again, opposite, the tiniest amount of stitch. In the turnover, opposite again. Going below, tiniest amount of stitch. Inside that turnover. Below again. Inside that turnover again. Below. Inside. Below. Inside. Below. Inside. So this is what it's going to look like, guys. You can see there that you cannot see any stitching at all. on either side. So that's what makes it a completely invisible stitch. You're doing the back single stitch where you're picking a few threads up below this area, and then you're coming up inside the turnover, your cotton's being hid in there. Now when you're finishing off on the end, what you're going to do is you're going to come, just turn it like that, and then you're coming just below on the turn up part, and then you're going to stitch that a few times. And then what I do is I go back into this area and I push the needle quite down. Or you can come this way. If you're at the end, you can come up. So instead of going that way, you could come up this area. Push that thread through so it's inside. Cutting that off. Take that out. And then you've got your perfectly invisible stitch. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and this stitch is going to be useful for you. It's the one stitch that will give you 100% invisibility, where you won't see your stitch on the inside and you won't see it on the outside. So if you've enjoyed this video, guys, it's been useful for you, please give me a thumbs up. It does help me on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Take care for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.